Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Trail Times podcast with Big Bear Events. It's been a little bit of a delay since the last one, mainly because I'm currently sitting here on Bank Holiday Monday of Easter. If you don't know my setup, which you've got no reason to, I suppose, I effectively look after the kids during the holidays and so on. So when it's the Easter holidays, my working week gets somewhat condensed into trying to sneak emails in around getting their lunch ready and so on and so on. So it does mean that getting away to do podcasts is difficult, as is everything else as well. The last event we had was the Trail Fest at Salty Forest, which I'm still buzzing from. It was a great event, really was good fun. Absolutely lucked out with the weather. Weather was amazing. Definitely adds to the event. If the weather had been hammering down with rain the whole day, or really cold, or it was really wet underfoot, which we've had in the past, it just changes the vibe. Those are the people that came that are sort of new to trail running and things like that. If it's sort of just a bad day, sort of because of the weather, it does affect things, and it shouldn't. You know, dress for the weather, there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. Right, I know all the cliches, but there's just no doubting that being out in the sunshine is better than being out in the rain. So it was brilliant, absolutely loved it. We will be back next year, but it is very much looking like we'll be back at the end of June at Salty Forest for Trail Fest. I don't want to take chances of having really wet, rubbish ground conditions mainly. You can't stop it from raining. We live in England, what can you do? But underfoot conditions there in the winter on the course that we use are just not loads of fun. And anybody that ran it in 2023 or 2024 will attest to that, I'm sure. Whereas the 2025 runners will have loved the course. So by pushing it into the summer, guaranteeing that the underfoot conditions will be good, even if it's been biblical rain for a week, it's still not going to be anything like it was last year, which was dreadful. So we'll be returning with that. In terms of what is coming for Big Bear Events, we've got the Bat Challenge. Hopefully this podcast is going to come out, if I've got my timings right, on Thursday. So if you're listening to this, it's probably going to be about a week until the Bat Challenge, which is on the Friday the 2nd of May. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Bat Challenge. So yes, it's a new event, but we've done the format before. So it's one of our 6-hour events, exactly the same 6-hour event. Run as many laps as you want. It's a 5k lap at Beacon Hill Country Park, where we've held many events in the past as well. I think four events previously, 3, 4, something like that. Really, really popular venue. It's a lovely spot. You've got sort of, essentially, it's a big hill that you go up for a mile. You then squirrel around a little bit at the top at the beacon, and then you come down the other side for a mile, and then you come back round and you go round and round. It is a fair hill. If you are a faster runner, you'll probably run it on the first lap. I don't think there's many people, even if you were like really quite good, if you're running for 6 hours, I doubt you're running the whole hill on every lap. I mean, obviously it's not the Alps, right? If you're a mountain goat, then you'll be absolutely fine. But personally, and I know 95% of the people that were running, if you get to sort of 4 or 5 hours, it's enough of the hill to make you think, I'll just walk this for a little bit. Anyway, beautiful to look at, really, really nice. The difference with the Bat Challenge is that we start at 6 p.m. So it's a Friday evening after work, come down, park your car up and run. And you can be running in daylight for, I don't know, at least one lap. Everyone will do one lap in daylight. Sunset is at 8:30. So if you're starting at 6 o'clock, you've got 2.5 hours until the sun sets. However, it gets darker before technical sunset. I'm sure there's some geography word for it, I don't know, but in the woods it gets darker before actual technical sunset. So it'll be dark, it would be sort of dusky at sort of 8 o'clock-ish. So you've got 2 hours of sort of daylight-ish, and then there's probably like an hour between 8 and 9 where light is fading and then will fade incredibly quickly. So if we get a really nice day where it's really good weather, it could be some of the most beautiful golden hour running that you're doing as you're going up to the beacon. You've got views all over Leicestershire, phenomenal. So it could be amazing. And then, if you've not worked this bit out, once that is done, as in the sun is done, you're then running at night. So you're running head torches only, running into the night, amazing. If you haven't done trail running at night, you should. It is just so much fun, and it is unnerving when you start. It's a bit weird. I've done it a lot, and if I be honest, I can't necessarily remember the first time I did it. I do remember just thinking that it wasn't something that could be done, you know, because unless you know, you don't know, do you? But it's just so much fun, and once you get your head around it, it's brilliant. And I've done events before where I've been running, everything's fine, and then something spooks you. You might see some green eyes, which is just the sheep, and you're like, oh God, and then it spooks you, and then you calm yourself back down and you carry on. The beauty of doing it at one of our Big Bear events is that you're running the same lap. So you've run the lap in the daylight, you're within the country park, it's signposted, you know, with my arrows with high-vis on them. I'm just seeing if I've got an arrow here. Here we go. Right, so if you're watching, right, this little yellow bit here is ultra reflective high-vis. No doubt it won't do anything on the camera, but if you are watching, these are ultra reflective. So if you've got a head torch on and it catches the light, you could be maybe 100 meters away and it will start to shine. And then obviously as you get closer, you can see it better, but it will catch the light so you know where you're going. And the course isn't going to be difficult at all, right? It's really not difficult. We effectively go around the perimeter of the country park, so it's not tricky to follow at all. And so you can be safe that you're not going to be lost in the dark in the middle of nowhere. And apart from sort of right at the end, you know that there's going to be people in front of you and behind you. So you should feel a lot safer. And I'm not going to, breaking things in my office, I'm not going to sit here as a middle-aged white man and say everybody should feel safe, there's never any danger, you just need to get on with it. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is it is a lot safer to be running at one of my events on the trail at night in a country park that's nowhere near anybody. Personally, I feel safer running through the woods in the middle of nowhere at night than I would do running through town now. I mean, I'm recording at 8:30 at night. If I was running through town, going past pubs, I'd feel a lot more unsafe than I would do if I was running through the woods near my house. Or the beauty of Beacon Hill is it's not near any houses. So you can't fall out the pub and end up there without getting a 10-minute Uber. So it's not how people are going to end up there if they're just being drunk. Which I'd suggest is 99% of most people's incidents is just coming across drunk people. But like I say, I'm not here to tell you how you should feel safe. What I do know is that if you're running as a trail runner at night, and this was, I read this on somebody's Instagram at some point a long time ago, of a female runner saying they felt safer at night running because when they're running at night, they're running and they're just a runner with a light on. You're not gendered at any point because no one can see who you are because you've just got a light on. But my point is that if you're running as part of the event, there will be people around. We will be obviously on site. No one else will be there because the park is technically closed apart from the fact we're there. Obviously we have permission to be there, don't worry about that part. but it just feels really, really good. And if you're doing longer ultras in the summer and you haven't done much night running for a while, because as the nights get brighter, it becomes harder to do night running because you can't do it in the morning and you've got to stay up late to do it in the evening. So this gives you a good chance to practice that. And if you've never done it before, come with a good head torch. That is the one non-negotiable, is that if you buy a £10 head torch from the petrol station, I promise you're going to have a bad night. I would obviously suggest getting a Petzl head torch. I mean, I have said previously, I've used their head torches since I've been running. That they are a industry leader for a reason. They make really good stuff. There are obviously other brands out there that you could use if you wanted to, but you cannot go wrong with one of their head torches. As a general rule with this stuff, the more you spend, the better you get. I like to run around with effectively football stadium floodlights lighting the whole trail up for as long as possible. So if you like that, you need to spend some money. If you spend 10 quid on Amazon, yeah, it's fine when the electric goes out in your house and you want to get down to the fuse board to turn something on, absolutely fine. But when you're running through trail and you've got branches on the floor, you've got twigs, you've got all this stuff going on, you want to be able to see properly and well and reliably. So I'd very much suggest checking Petzl out. If you go through Centurion Running Ultra Store, I've got that name wrong, but the Centurion Running Ultra Store, they sell Petzl stuff, and if you use the code BigBear10, you can get 10% off the Petzl stuff that Centurions sell as well. Yeah, so that's going to be great. We've got quite a few signed up for that already. I don't think it'll sell out looking at the numbers we've got at the moment, but obviously I'm recording this a few days in advance. Who knows what's going to have happened, but it's looking, we've got good numbers. So we'll get close to 100, but I don't think we'll quite get there. So if you've not done it before, come along. If you've got like a club or a group of people that you like to go running with or whatever it is, get them all to come along, all have fun, do what you want to do. You can, the beauty of the Beacon Hill course as well is that you effectively do a lap around the car park on each lap. So it means that you can leave all your stuff in your car, use that as a base, go in there to sort of put some warmer clothes on, because it will get cold when the sun goes in. It does, the temperature does drop a lot at night. Sounds silly to say it, because it's sort of obvious really when you think about it, but you do need to think about that as you're getting ready for the day. But yeah, it's a really good social event. You know, why not do that on a Friday night rather than what other people get up to on Friday nights? It's a good thing to do. Other bit of news as well. So by the time this goes out, I'll have put on Instagram and so on that we are linking up with the Roald Dahls Marvellous Children's Charity. So it's always been a bit of a funny one for me. Obviously, raising money for seriously sick kids is never a bad thing. But I always I'm always torn a little bit, especially around London Marathon time. It's even more sort of in your face about how certain races are there as vehicles for fundraising for charity, and that is not what Big Bear Events is about. We're about running for running's sake and enjoying the running. However, if you do want to raise money, then why not do it with a really good charity that do great work for sick kids in and around where we are. They've got quite a lot. I mean, they're not at every hospital because they're dealing with the sickest of the sick kids, and the sickest of the sick kids go to specialist hospitals. So I was looking the other day, there's quite a few at Birmingham Kids Hospital, because if you live in Rugby where I am and you are seriously ill and you're a seriously sick child, you'll go to Birmingham Kids Hospital. So they're still supporting the children in our area, and they're just trying to make their lives a little bit better. So it's a great charity to deal with. The way that I am trying to sort of help them, I guess, is that every event that you sign up for, there is a option to create a Just Giving page if you want to raise money for them. You don't have to, absolutely fine not to. There's also effectively a box that you can tick to do a one-off donation when you sign up as well. Again, don't have to, but any donations just go straight to them. I don't want to get involved in it at all. I don't see the money at all. You click the button, it goes straight to them. All the money goes to helping sick children, which is brilliant. And then also you can click on a sort of would you like to hear more from us box and get added onto their mailing list. So that's the 3 ways that we're helping them all the time. And then next January, we're going to have a crocodile challenge, and that is going to be effectively in aid of the Roald Dahls Marvellous Children's Charity. So for that one, I will be giving, I think, 20 or 30 places to them for them to use for their fundraising purposes. The medal will be branded up with the crocodile, from the charity as well, and we'll have some stuff from the charity there as well. The hope is, and in my magical land, because of the time of year it will be a really good boost for people who are raising money for them for the London Marathon and Brighton and Manchester and so on. It's the perfect time of year for those first long runs, and so hopefully we'll get people come along who are raising money for that charity and maybe for other charities as well, and start to use Big Bear events as a way to sort of supercharge, I guess, their marathon training as they start to raise money for charities. But it's something that I've been looking to do for maybe the last year, and just trying to work out how to do it right. Because as I've said, and I don't want to labour the point too much, but I'm really, really keen that people can come along and they can run, and they can just run for the sport, but not have to be ultra competitive, but also not have to raise money for charity. So I sort of see that we sort of sit in the middle. I've been to events before where it is very much a fundraising activity, and that is what it is there to do. Obviously, absolutely fine, they raise loads of money, and that is what they're there to do. And then I've also been to events before where you are trying to run your fastest possible time, you're trying to win, and it is ultra competitive. That's fine, that is what they're there to do. Big Bear events sit squarely in the middle. If you want to raise some money for charity, brilliant, you do you. If you want to be ultra competitive, fine, you do you. If you want to just run because you like to run around and you like to walk and hike and eat cake as you sort of move around the forest slowly, enjoying the view and taking pictures, brilliant, that's what we're here for. So nothing's changed on that part, but it's just a really good thing to do to try and help a charity. What's been enlightening is going through the whole process. So it's a bit more than just like a handshake deal, I guess, but going through the whole process and speaking to the people just to set stuff up in the back end, and how other organisers and other charities, it's very, very much a business thing. So to be ultra clear, I'm not making any money from this, because that seems really bad to be taking people's money as I try to raise money for a charity. But I guess if you're a massive charity like Macmillan or another, I don't know, other charities, Asthma UK, I don't know, big charities, then getting leads that are sort of fresh leads from somebody, who someone says, I'd like to raise money for your charity, I guess there is value to that, and that is why people charge to have that button on their entry platforms. Seems crazy to me. Nothing that I'd even realised, but I guess that's how this stuff works. But again, just to be really, really clear, none of that. I don't want to make any money. If I can get some extra bits on Instagram, brilliant. If some people discover Big Bear events because they follow the charity and then they find me, brilliant. But I'd much rather we raise a few hundred, maybe £1,000+ a year, and we help some sick kids like that. It makes me sound, I'm not sure what the phrase is, but I don't want to sound like an absolute do-gooder, but surely it's just about trying to help some sick kids. But anyway, so that is what we're starting to do. All the event pages have got the links on there and the information on there. it should really be a bit of a no-brainer, and hopefully we can help some kids. And the event that we put on next year will be a little bit different. We'll have some people from the charity there as well, I'm sure. But if you don't want to be doing any of it, then that's absolutely fine, right? It isn't. I'm not going down the route of a 10k where entry's £5 and you've got to raise £100 for charity. That is not where I'm going at all, and I'm not a massive fan of those sorts of events either. But I appreciate charities have got to get their money from somewhere. So they are, I guess, the main bits of news. Like I said, we've not had an event since the last one that I recorded. I sort of go into a bit of a funny period now in the summer where obviously Big Bear stuff keeps carrying on. I find the summer slows down for entries. I've had some of my worst events entry wise have been in June and July. I'm trying to think what year it was now. Maybe 2022, Firmin Woods, Red Kite Challenge. I think we had maybe 30 people at that. Just doesn't make for a good event. There's absolutely no money in it for me at all. And you start going and then suddenly you start running and you're on your own within about 5 minutes. That isn't the sort of event that I want to put on. Come the end of the event, fine, you are running on your own because a lot of people have gone home, but I want there to be that little bit of buzz on the start line. So I sort of wind the events down a little bit over the summer, and personally I pick up doing race directing with Centurions. So I've got North Downs Way 50 in the middle of May, and then South Downs Way 50k in the middle of June. They're big events, so it isn't just a case of me turning up on the day, helping people park, as I know some people think that's all I do, and then toddling off. There's a lot of stuff in the build up to those events. South Downs Way 50k is going to be one of the biggest events I think I've ever been in. Well, it's going to be the biggest event I've ever been involved in. It's going to be Centurion's biggest event pretty much that they've put on. World Trail Majors. It's going to be a lot of stuff. So I don't want to have that and then be having lots of Big Bear stuff to organise around it, because something will end up being dropped and I can't afford that. So I sort of wind it down a little bit, but we've got May, let me get the right dates. We've got the Bat Challenge on May the 2nd, and then a month later the Woodland Challenge. So the Woodland Challenge is returning to Rugby on the Great Central Way, which is brilliant because it's half a mile from my house, so excellent. So that's always a good thing. It's going to be the first time as well where I am effectively reusing some of the medals. So it's not a lucky dip so much as you get to pick the medal that you want to have, which I guess is a lucky dip. But the lanyards, I don't have it here if you're watching. No, I don't have one. But the lanyards will say Woodland Challenge on them, and then you can pick your medal out from all the different woodland animals that we've had. It's just a good way to use the medals. Hopefully it doesn't feel like some sort of con. I've been very upfront as to the fact that that's going to happen on the event page. No doubt there'll be a handful of people that haven't read it, but I'll try to be as clear as possible. It's just a good way to use some of the medals that are left. There's no event that I can put on with 9 Fox events, with 9 Fox Challenge medals that I have left over. You can't recycle these things, so it's much better to try and use them in a way like this. But in 8 years, 100 plus events, this is the first time that I've done that. I have reused medals sort of from one year to the next, so that I do. I think that's fine as well. But this idea of sort of having all different medals is something different. That rugby course, I'm going to go out with the camera and try and video that potentially tomorrow, just so people can see what the course looks like. It's a disused railway. It is also where our furthest ever 6-hour challenge distance, I'm not getting the word right, it's the course record, but like the company record, I guess. Andrew Siggers in 2019, I think, it's pre-COVID, I think, did 52 miles. So 52 miles, I think it was in 6 hours 18, something like that. So he was running, he started at sort of 5:58 for his last lap, I think. Unbelievable. People just couldn't believe. Just every lap was effectively within about 10 seconds of each other, and he just kept going. I've never seen anything like it. He is a local runner that will win parkrun, 10k, 50k, everything. He'll just wins it all. He entered, from memory, he messaged me on the Monday. I think I'd closed entries, and then he entered. I was like, yeah, okay, fine. And then he just had the day off from school, works at the school, and was like, yeah, just going to come and run, see how I get on, and then just banged out 52 miles. I think I've spoken to him since. I don't think he was in sort of like the form of his life at that point, going for the Anglo Plate. I think he had come in a few weeks later, so that's why he was using it as training for. But incredible running. If you can do 52 miles, brilliant. For everybody else that's a bit more, I was going to say normal. I don't mean normal. I can't think what the word is. I've lost the word in my head, but I'm referring to Andrew as being extra human and us all being human. So for all of us humans, it's a old or disused railway, so virtually flat, never any more than 4% because that's the rules on railways, I believe. Out and back, really simple, but it's beautiful. So when I first moved to Rugby 9 years ago, 9 years and 3 days or something ago, I remember taking the twins down in a double buggy onto the Great Central Way, because I lived even closer to it at that point. I thought, oh, this looks cool, I'll go for a walk. And it had been raining and it was impassable. Unbelievable. Like, the buggy just got stuck in the mud. Oh, it's awful. And then pre-COVID again, so maybe a couple of years after that, 2017 maybe, they spent 50 grand doing up the pathways. So it's probably a Sustrans / Rugby Council / Warwickshire Council, I don't know who paid for it, but it's brilliant. So now it's a really, really nice surface. It's obviously had the best part of 10 years to weather, so it's not brand new surface, but it's a really nice running surface. You go around some little ponds, some little swampy areas. There's amazing graffiti along the way as well, and it's not kids drawing great big phallic things and tagging stuff. There are these local artists who actually taught my kids like drawing classes as well, just coincidentally, and it's brilliant. They're I guess not graffiti, street art, I guess you want to call it, with spray paint. Is so good. I absolutely love it. So it just makes the route, it just breaks it up. So although it is a disused railway and it is straight effectively, there are different sections to it. It has got some variety. At the end of every single lap as well, you come up what we call the zigzags. So you've got to come up from on the train line to effectively up to the road above it. So you do that at the end of every lap as well. It's a really nice course. It's used a lot by the locals here, just for running, dog walking. People use it a lot. So that's going to be a great event. I've digressed. But we're there on the Tuesday the 3rd of June. And then we're at Kingsbury Water Park at the end of June, Thursday the 26th. And then we finish the summer off, I guess, at the Swan Challenge at Coombe Abbey. Again, really, really popular. And then in the evening, we stay around for the summer 10K. Hopefully, it fits in perfectly between all the other evening 10K, 5 mile, whatever races that people do for their clubs. I've had series of evening 10Ks in the summer, and I've always struggled because effectively 90% of the people that come to them are also in clubs, and they go and do the club events that are there to not make any money and so are a lot cheaper, and all their club mates do it. But when I've done an event on this date in the last couple of years, I've had really good attendance because it falls outside of the different club events that are happening, and that 10k for me is not competitive, right? You don't have to compete. So I think some people feel the pressure when they're going to the club events that are part of the Grand Prix series or whatever it is, that they've got to finish in this time to get a score for their team and so on and so on. I don't care what you do. There'll be ice cream at the end. Take an hour and a half, get an ice cream, whatever, right? It makes no difference to me. So I think hopefully people quite like that. And then we've launched stuff that's going into the autumn as well. So the Kingfisher Challenge and the Dormouse Challenge have launched. If you're watching this, I'm going to assume that you are on the mailing list. If you aren't, get on the mailing list, what I call the very important bear mailing list. You could have saved yourself 20% on the ticket price. So it does make it very, very worthwhile for the sake of getting a few emails to then save quite a lot of money on every single event that is launched. Always launch to the mailing list first, always with 20% off for a very limited time before they go on general release. So definitely worth signing up. And that's where I'm going to leave it for, or leave it for this time. I've got the Bat Challenge coming up in, like I say, about a week. So we'll have a episode after that. That will be quite an intense day. So that day for me will consist of having to load everything up into the van and mark the course and then do the event. Probably not getting home till, I don't know, 2 o'clock-ish. So it ends up being a really long day. But I really enjoy those events. Really enjoy them. The amount of people that come out that have never run nighttime trail before is brilliant, because they love it, because they discover that it's great fun. Yeah, that's about it. I will be speaking to you shortly.